Joining us now, criminal defense attorney and trial attorney Brian Claypool. Brian, it's good to see you again. What's your reaction to David Spunt's report here? What's the danger of Hunter Biden testifying?
Hey, Liz, great to see you again. Yeah, the biggest risk is, even if he went up on the stand, they asked him one question. Were you addicted to drugs at the time you filled out this form and bought the gun? If he says no, it still arguably opens up the door to a plethora of questions about his drug use, about his lifestyle, about information contained on his laptop, which could be very damaging to the defense. It can cast him in a different light than how he's been cast so far. I mean, there's a lot of sympathy running through that courtroom. Jill Biden's there, she's coming back. So I think it's a huge mistake to put Hunter Biden up on the stand. Yeah,
a lot of critics are saying it feels like pressure for, the First Lady to be there. There's also this, you wonder what Hunter Biden's defense could be, or will he try for a plea deal before the case goes to the jury if it looks like it's not going his way? I mean, these cases, I think, usually end in plea deals, not jury verdicts. Plus, they almost always result in convictions. There was that ill-fated plea deal last summer that collapsed, that got knocked out. What do you think of that idea?
Well, Liz, you just posted something on the screen there that tells me why there's not likely to be a plea deal. Remember, the federal prosecutors had egg on their face. They had this plea deal. Hunter Biden was going to plead to a misdemeanor, do a diversion program, right? Then a federal judge tossed that plea agreement out of court. Prosecutors looked horrible, looked like they were biased. So they were forced to go to trial in this case. There's no chance that they're going to not go to verdict now. They're going to take this to verdict. They can't have egg on their face twice.
Interesting.
But look, Liz, the greatest thing that happened in this trial is the fact that they used this laptop that you're talking about that's been called Russian disinformation now for 4 years. So they were forced to show their hand. They needed it as evidence. And now, after this trials are over, why wouldn't people in Congress be arguing for a new investigation?
Right. I mean,
of Hunter Biden.
Yeah, even USA Today says, quote, Trump was right about Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. Joe Biden falsely claimed it was Russian disinformation. So did Adam Schiff. So did other top Democrats. And it is being used as key evidence in Hunter's criminal trial. Let's listen to what was being said about that laptop in the past. Now, these individuals are silent because, again, the FBI, DOJ is authenticated and using it as evidence in this case. Watch this.
Nobody.
President Trump, I want to stay on the issue of race. We're talking about the issue.
From hell.
President Trump, we're talking about race right now, and I do want to stay on the issue of race. President Trump,
I have to respond to that.
Please,
because look,
very quickly.
There are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the 5 former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what. This
looks like your classic disinformation campaign.
And as I and several of my former colleagues have pointed out publicly, that it does bear the hallmarks of Russian disinformation.
This looks like Russian intelligence. This walks like Russian intelligence. This talks like Russian intelligence. Looks like a classic Russian playbook disinformation campaign.
From actually Intel Committee Chair Adam Schiff, who said this discussion over Hunter Biden and the story that came out in the New York Post that is highly questionable and dubiously sourced is part of a Russian disinformation campaign.
You know what's disturbing? None of these individuals are saying, oh, we were wrong. None of them are saying, you know what, former CIA acting director Michael Morell, who testified, he did help organize that letter signed by 51 former intelligence officials claiming this was Russian disinformation. And that was at the behest of Antony Blinken. And then 3 days later, Biden uses that in his final debate against Trump. Final word about this.
Yeah, first of all, now we know why the DOJ didn't want to go to trial, right, Liz? Because if they had gone to trial, then they would have to show the country that they're using this laptop that we now know is not Russian disinformation. It's Russian trash. It's Russian garbage. And my final thought is, why aren't those 51 individuals being charged with obstruction of justice? They had lied through their teeth. They knew that was going to affect the 2020 election. And arguably it did. Why haven't all 51 of these folks been indicted?
You know, Brian, the other thing, too, is we hear you loud and clear. How does that, you know, people are saying that's a cover-up, what they were saying, that this was Russian disinformation. You know, and also, you know, we've got to ask, how does that differentiate from their own disinformation operation?
Yeah, you're raising a great point. And look, at the end of the day, I think what we all want, Liz, approaching this election, is we want the truth, right? Because the Democrats just put former President Trump through a trial arguing that he somehow interfered with the election. Liz, I'm telling you, you have a treasure of evidence here that shows they were interfering with the election, and we need a new investigation of Hunter Biden and the laptop.
Brian, you're terrific. We promise we want to have you back on again soon. We hope to get you. Good to see you, Brian. Have a good weekend. Let's
Thanks,
welcome
Liz.
from